some people will say they have been stampeded to appear before us.
The action of the House of Representatives Committee on Public Account followed the directives given by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Amidst, who had earlier directed the committee to go ahead with the investigation of the petroleum minister's alleged use of 10 billion naira for private jet expenses. The Speaker explained that an earlier directive he gave suspending the probe was not based on a court injunction as widely reported, but a bid to study the court process served on the House by the petroleum minister before further legislative action. The Speaker also frowned at what he termed resistance by public officers in government ministries, departments and agencies to legislative summons and investigations, saying such acts have caused a lot of hindrance in oversight functions.
There is this tendency to slant stories against the Parliament in favor of the executive. So we seek and need your understanding as mothers to also educate, of course, our brothers and sisters and your husbands and children that the Parliament is having the constitutional responsibility of exercising these checks and balances. In any case, we are practicing the presidential system of government in Nigeria, and if we must succeed, and I believe we have to succeed, we should do it the way it is done from where we borrowed this model of governance.
Away from a 10 billion naira probe, a federal lawmaker in the House of Representatives has raised concerns over the European Union's Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA, with Nigeria and other African countries. Representative Akpanumo expressed worry over the possibility that job opportunities meant for Nigerian youths will be transferred to Europeans if the country endorsed the partnership. Consequently, the House summoned Mr. Olusegun Aganga, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, over the partnership agreement decision. The House requested that the minister should appear to explain in detail what Nigeria stands to benefit from a partnership that looks skewed in favor of the economies of Europe to the detriment of the economies of African countries and Nigeria in particular. It also wants the minister to brief the lawmakers on the likely consequences for Nigeria's failure to endorse the partnership.
The House is worried that if Nigeria endorses new European Union economic partnership, we will inadvertently transfer job opportunities of our children to their children, and we will become even more a dumping ground for their manufactured goods, to the total annihilation of our industries and manufacturing systems, which is meant to create jobs for our people. The House is concerned that Europe had in the past used public sector funds to build their economy and became a developed country, and during that period, they built their market and industry so heavily that they are protected from external, protected from external competition until they were industrially stable.
Now, away from the House of Representatives, federal lawmakers in the Senate have queried the appearance of a new budget for 52 government agencies. Some lawmakers questioned the rationale behind the presentation of a 2014 budget proposal of the 52 government agencies weeks after the National Assembly passed the 2014 budget. In the budget proposal, 3.5 trillion naira was appropriated for NNPC, 377.9 billion naira for CBN, 15.6 billion naira for the Securities and Exchange Commission SEC, and 144 billion naira for the Nigeria Ports Authority NPA.
I want to believe that almost all the issues here have been dealt with during the budget defense. But there are some isolated cases, like the central bank. I am a member of the committee on banking, and I do know that the central bank budget is being controversial, whether or not the National Assembly has right to look into it. If it must come very clearly. And then if it's referred to the committee will look at it. But for you to now put everything together and then you want to refer them to the different committees, this is strange.
We have been crying since the beginning of the 6th Senate that all the predecessors must submit their budget here. They've not submitted it separately until after we have passed the 2014 budget. If we want to start that process should precede our national budget from next year. Yeah. So I don't think that we should go back either by asking the tenant to sift or not sift. If there are issues to be dealt with, for instance, the issue of the CBN, which you mentioned, we have a committee charged with banking.
I cannot recall any year when budget has been passed that kind of document is sent back or committed to the National Assembly. Is this not a way of returning the budget through the backhand? Because for me, I'm taken aback, and honestly, Mr. President, there is more explanation that is required before we can move forward on this.
I want to know, did we pass the budget with this in the budget, since, like you said, it was in the House of Reps, they attached it to the House of Reps. Did we inadvertently pass the budget with them? Because I can remember, if I saw the document very well, we didn't have this as proposal, but I'm sure it must be there since the House of Reps considered it as a budget, as approved budget.
But the chairman of the Senate Committee on Rules and Business informed the lawmakers that the document containing the budget was sent by the Federal Ministry of Finance and the Budget Office.
It came along with the national budget. And, oh my God, and this is not a document that I have in any manner tampered with. It was produced and given to the Appropriations Committee. And these copies are gotten from the Appropriations Committee and circulated, not by me, sir.
Senate President David Mark thereafter directed the Committee on Rules and Business to exclude the agencies which have been given appropriation from those which have not, and begin legislative work on them. Now, this is where we draw the curtains for this week's edition of The Gavel. If you have any views or opinions on any of the issues you would like to share with us, please email us on thegavel@channelstv.com. Thank you for staying with us, and see you again next week.